CC Bloom is forever in my heart.
Oh, thank you.
I'm sorry.
Glad to hear
I was
it.
like a mini, like, CC Bloom.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad to hear it.
No, like, amazing.
Thank you.
And you need to do more voiceover work.
I do. I'm losing my voice with
voice.
this book tour, but thank
Sorry,
you.
I'm talking too much.
That's okay, go ahead. We're
Okay.
used to it.
So, I am really interested in attachment parenting because after reading your book, now I'm questioning my parental skills because I lose it and I really have a temper, and so I'm really curious, what is your advice when you are trying to get out of the house and no one's listening? I love 3 things that you do to get your children to listen.
To get out of the house or to get them to listen?
Both.
Both. Very small commands. 1-sentence commands. Sometimes I suck it up and do some of the stuff by myself, meaning sometimes it's not worth it to give a list of things and then get upset that they don't do it. Sometimes it's all they can do is to pick up their shoes and go sit in the car, and we'll put them on in the car, and lowering expectations in general. So whether that means leaving more time so that my expectation is not that they get out of the house in 3 minutes, planning ahead, but that kind of all goes with expectations, like a general shifting. It takes a little bit of work, and then I've found that it becomes a little more second nature.
Okay, so if one of your boys doesn't listen,
Yes.
how do you discipline?
I tape their ears closed and show them this is what it's like to not listen. It depends. We do a lot of logical consequences when we can. We do a lot of distraction, and for a certain frame of age, we do a lot of sense of humor. And a lot of that is me knowing that my button for control is being pushed, and this too shall pass, and I don't need to force my will on a small person when sometimes a sense of humor and getting things done that need to get done without strife is more worth it for my sanity.
Okay.
Explain. I want to see the sense of humor.
Oh,
like, what would you do?
With the 6-year-old, starting at around 4 or 5, they love words. They love crazy words. And when they start using...
We know those words.
When they start using harsh words, when they express feelings, instead of, I don't like that, you're getting a timeout, you can't talk to me like that, we do a lot of showing how it doesn't have weight. And a lot of that, again, like, it makes you look inside yourself. What buttons are pushed when your kid is disobedient, when they're disrespect. That's my big thing, is disrespect.
Yes.
And when I hear that, it makes me nuts. But that's part of what we do, is we play with words about it. So if it's, they sometimes use the word hate, It's sometimes about hate, bait, flate, gate, Nate. And it, all of a sudden, like, it's gone.
I got it.
And they remember mama is still mama. And again, it takes the pressure off. It's not condoning that behavior. And there is a time and a place to say, those words are not okay with me. And if you're using those words here, I'm not comfortable going to so-and-so's house because those words are not okay at that house either. But it also means following through. And I've left restaurants, I've stayed home, and that's not a punishment. That's to say to a child, if this is how it looks at home, I'm unable to take you places that are fun right now because I need to know that you're going to listen to me. If you don't listen in the house, Mama doesn't know you're going to listen when we leave. So we're going to be here.
So you do have consequences.
Absolutely. I'm considered very strict. I think it's a misnomer to think that attachment parenting means like loose, anything goes, popcorn for breakfast. Sometimes, no, just as a snack. No, but I think people are surprised to hear that I have a lot of expectations. I do want our boys to be quieter than even my husband sometimes thinks they need to be. But again, it's about working with the child, letting the expectations be appropriate, and not giving illogical consequences because it's only confusing to small people.
Yes.
Great.
I have to ask one other quick question about your marriage. So my husband and I are very close, and you have adapted this co-sleeping through also your philosophy of attachment parenting. So didn't you crave sleeping next to him at times? With I know you have your boys in between.
Sure.
I mean,
sometimes we are next. Sometimes we can be physically next to each other.
We transfer people this way.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's Fred, me, Mike, Miles.
Right.
So there are times that we can still have that closeness. And the fact is, every relationship is different.
Yeah.
There's a lot of complexity. My husband's not a touchy-feely, cuddly kind of person, and that's just kind of the way he is.
Yeah.
So there are other ways that people connect and feel close. But I guarantee, I know a lot of attachment parenting parents. It's true, their sex life doesn't look like it did before they got married. And it doesn't look
Even
like...
if you're not in attachment parenting.
Exactly.
Your sex life doesn't look
I'm
the
so
same.
happy for people who don't do attachment parenting who are having sex all the time. I'm so happy for them. No, but... Exactly. Who are they? I don't know.
Isn't that you, Melissa?
I don't like sex.
Okay, good for you. I'm glad to hear it.
Go on.
No, but the point being that people find ways to connect that way outside of the bedroom when your children are there. And my feeling is if it's working for people, it's working for them. It may not work for me the same way.
Right. To each his own.
Exactly.
Whatever works.
And to each child their own.
Yep. Do you parent each boy differently?
Yeah, we happen to have gotten two very similar temperament kids. I've been told, possibly because of the way we did things, that it was so similar.
That's interesting.
They are slightly different, but Fred has spoken later than Miles, so that's been an extra challenge. Fred's a real introvert. Fred is very easily overstimulated by sound, by too many people. It's taken a lot of patience. I was saying to my husband, because my husband's mostly with him now when I'm working, I said, Fred is like, I'm exhausted dealing with like picking him up when he's scared and covering his ears when it's loud. Every child is different and exhausting in a new way. And then the dynamic of two children, it's enough to make you insane.
Try
I get
three.
it. Yeah. I don't want to try three.
No, don't.
Just
Don't.
keep
Don't.